Good day, everyone, especially to my classmates and teacher. Today, my members and I will discuss about preparing and implementing research instruments. First, let us start by introducing to you what a research instrument is. A research instrument is a tool used to gather data on a specific topic of interest. When conducting a research, you need to prepare and implement the appropriate instruments to gather the data you need. When preparing an instrument, you must ensure that it is valid and reliable. An instrument is valid when it directly answers or addresses your research questions. It is reliable when it provides you consistent and stable data over a period of time. So an example of this is surveys or questionnaires. This research can be utilized in both qualitative and quantitative research methodology. A good research instrument is one that has been validated and has proven reliability. It should be one that can collect data in a way that's appropriate to the research questions being asked. Moving on to the guidelines in preparing an instrument, starting with number 1. Do a preliminary research by visiting your library or checking online sources. It is always important to go to places where it could give you all the necessary information about your topic, a library or in Google, for instance. Number 2. Talk to a person who is knowledgeable in preparing research instrument. You could talk to someone older than you, like your teacher, because they also encounter making a research paper, so of course, they might know about how to do it correctly. Number 3. Master the guidelines in preparing and administrating each type of instrument. Later on, my group will discuss this one by one. Number 4. Clarify your research questions. Be sure that your instruments will directly address your specific research questions. Start by addressing your questions about your topic and make sure that the instrument that you will use will give you your answers. Number 5. Based on the data you need, decide on the number of people whom you want as respondents or participants. Of course, when conducting your research, you will need to talk to people, maybe through a survey or face-to-face interview, and it depends on you to whom you're gonna ask these to. Number 6. Prepare the instrument using the appropriate format. Get model instruments. If necessary, you may visit Google Scholar to get samples of your intended instrument. So every instrument is naara sa Google Scholar and you may use it as a reference. Number 7. Edit your instrument. So edit your supposedly instrument. So number 8. Pilot your instrument to further improve its quality. After receiving the feedback from your pilot, make the necessary revisions. So you're basically preparing or testing a particular research instrument. It's a small-scale rehearsal in which you test the methods you plan to use for your research project.
Good day, everyone. It's me, Jane Parpado. Let's talk about the types of instrument. There are many types of instrument that we can use depending on the research. Number 1. Survey. Survey means to collect information from a sample of individuals through the responses questions. And why do we need to conduct a survey? Because survey we can use to find out attitudes and reaction, to measure client satisfaction, to gauge opinions about various issues, and to add credibility to your research. Let's go to another topic. Interview. An interview is an instrument that allows the researchers to qualitatively gather data. Responses during an interview are usually open-ended. There are 4 different stages of interview. Number 1. Pre-interview stages. When an interview guide is prepared and respondents are identified and contracted. Means the ISA pre-interview is the first step of the interviewing process. Example of pre-interview stages. Interview typically lasts about 30 minutes. Most of manager either do them via video call or over phone or phone call. Number 2. Warm-up stage. It is initial part of the interview when questions that we will make respondents more at is or as. Example, kanang galing mo interview sa imo ha? Mutanaw jud na sila sa physical aspect, the way you act, the way you talk, and the way sa imong porma or sa imong sinuotan. Number 3. The main interview stages. It is when question directly related to the research question are asked. Ang example ani kay first buhaton nimo is mo greet ka, ka, hi, good morning, chud na. Tayo mo din padayonan og karang introduction. Iguman mo introduction, ang introduction ana guys kay ana siya. My name is Jitchen from Kuan, Detekto, inana. Tapos isunod din nimo imong pangutana. Kailangan related sa imong gipangutana ha. Kalang related, parang conflict lang siya ba. Ana, imo din na i-conclusion humanon nimo. Number 4, closing stage. It is when questions are asked to wind down the interview and respondents are acknowledged and thanked. The final step is to report the research to those who need the data to make decision. Example, ang una na kay is mo conclude ka og activities or mo format ka sa project. Then ikaduha na mangita kag effective nga unsa buhaton. Then number 3, imo na siya i-deliver and imo siya i-kuan ba i-testing ba nga good ba siya or don'ts. Then number 4, imo na siya solbaron. So ang number 4 di ay kay mo na siya nimo nga imo na siya i-finalize kana nga project. Imo na siya imo na siya solbaron ang kanang problema nga okay pa ba ni kana imo na siya i-finalize. Tapos ang 5, imo na siya mo na nang okay good outcome na outcome mo na nga good outcome na in number 6. Tapos after ikaw man ana di ay kay is 6 kay pasalamat. Thank mo pag-ingon nga respondents are acknowledged and thanked.
Hi everyone, I'm Crystal Joey Urtao. Right now I'm going to discuss about a questionnaire in preparing and implementing research instruments. What is a questionnaire? Compared with the interview, the questionnaire is more quantifiable. It lists written questions to get specific information. Responses in a questionnaire are usually dichotomous and use an identification type of test. In some cases, open-ended questions are incorporated in the questionnaire. So a questionnaire is what you will give to your audience for them to answer. There are 4 parts of questionnaire. Number 1 is personal information section. Includes the name, age, date of birth, educational background, and other personal information about the respondent. Note that the only personal information relevant to the research study should be asked. In this part, we talked about some personal stuffs about our respondent. We're gonna dig some information about that respondent. Number 2, basic question section. Serves 2 purposes. The first one is to establish that the person you are asking is the right person for the study. The second purpose, which is only applicable to interview, is to establish rapport with the interviewee. This has 2 purposes. The first one is we're going to find out which one of them that we ask suits the best in the study. So finding the right one. The other purpose, which is only for interviewing, is engage a friendly relationship towards the interviewees. So be mag-act nice ka sa imong gipang interview. Number 3, main question section. Contains questions that are directly related to your research. It is ideal to have multiple questions for each specific research question. The greater the number of questions, the greater the possibility of more conclusive results. In this section, this is the real question and answer portion. Here, you can directly ask things that are specially related to your research. Mga dinagko na ni na questions. Diri sad kay pwede na mag-ask bisag multiple questions or mga follow-up questions. The more nga mudig kag maayo, mas nindot ang results gyud. Number 4, open-ended question section. Ask for a brief explanation or response to an open-ended questions. Here, you can ask whatever you want with the interviewee, and you can also make them explain about their answers. It's like having a little chit-chat with the interviewee. Guidelines in preparing a questionnaire. Number 1, introduce the questionnaire through a cover letter. The cover letter should include the purpose and relevance of the study, the length of time in completing a questionnaire, how the data will be processed, the contact details, and expected date and time in completing the questionnaire. Your questionnaire should have a cover letter where all the details are there and dapat naka-estimate na tanan dito sa cover letter. Number 2. Keep the questionnaire as short as possible by focusing only on the essential questions. It doesn't need to be very long. Keep your questionnaire as short as possible nga naka-focus sa importante nga mga parts. Number 3. Ensure confidentiality of the information. Dapat ang mga information dili grabe kalantad. Keep it private lang. Number 4. Pilot the questionnaire to ensure that you have not missed any important details. I-double check jud ang questionnaire para sure. Number 5. Use a follow-up reminder. Magbutang og mga follow-up para di jud makalimtan. Number 6. Give respondents sufficient time to answer. Give them enough time para maka-answer. Dili dali-dalion kay di gyud matarang og answer ang questionnaire. Number 7. Make directions and questions clear and unequivocal. Do not use words with double meaning or complex words. When making a questionnaire, use only a simple words. Don't use some complex words kay di jud na masabtan sa mga nag-answer. Dapat simple niya, clear.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Angela Jolie Naharo. I'm grade 11, ABM Batch B Albay. So today I will be reporting guidelines in conducting an experiment. 1. Always coordinate with a laboratory technician or supervisor when doing an experiment. So, mo-coordinate daw ta sa mga technician or supervisor kung maghimo sila og experiment. Dapat ka mutan-aw sa experiment para maibaw-an nato kung giunsa. Kung dili ta maminaw or mutan-aw, unsaon na lang kitay pahimuon. So, mao na, dapat jud ta mo coordinate sa technician or supervisor. So, number 2, make yourself present or accessible during an experiment. So, number 2, himuon natong atong kaugalingon nga permi presentar o pwede mapangutan-an sa mga tao during sa experiment. Number 3, maintain a relaxed and professional atmosphere. So, number 3, wala yung kibaw sa Bisaya, so ako ang gitagalog. So, number 3, ipanitiling magpahinga at professional sa kapaligiran. So, number 4, clean the experiment venue laboratory as you leave. So, dapat na gyud ning buhaton permi kung nagyud tayo himuon nga experiment. Dapat limpyuhan ang venue sa eksperimento, igawas nato sa laboratory. 5. Never coerce any participants in your experiments. So, di man gyud na pwede mo pugos og tao gyud. Dapat gyud sila gyud ilaha gyud kaugalingon nga mo attend sila, mo participant sila, ilaha gyud na. So, ayaw pugsa ang mo participant sa experiment. Dili gyud na nato buhaton kay madaot ta. So that's all. Thank you everyone.
Good day everyone. I'm Vinicius Natural and I'm going to talk about experiment. An experiment is a procedure undertaken scientifically and systematically to make a discovery and to test hypothesis. An experiment can be performed in a laboratory or in a natural setting following these steps. Number 1. Make observation. A comment about something or someone of watching the experiment. Number 2. Develop the hypothesis. Number 3. Design the experiment. It's a systematic, efficient method that enables scientists and engineers to study the relationship between multiple input variables, which is factors and responses. Number 4. Conduct the experiment. Replicate the experiment to ensure the reliability of the results. Number 5. Analyze the results. Number 6. Decide on whether to accept or reject the hypothesis based on the result. Good day everyone. I'm Vinicius Natural and I'm going to talk about experiment. An experiment is a procedure undertaken scientifically and systematically to make a discovery and to test hypothesis. An experiment can be performed in a laboratory or in a natural setting following these steps. Number 1. Make observation. A comment about something or someone of watching the experiment. Number 2. Develop the hypothesis. Number 3. Design the experiment. It's a systematic, efficient method that enables scientists and engineers to study the relationship between multiple input variables, which is factors and responses. Number 4. Conduct the experiment. Replicate the experiment to ensure the reliability of the results. Number 5. Analyze the results. Number 6. Decide on whether to accept or reject the hypothesis based on the result.